Ugh, the long-awaited video. Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. I've been gone for quite some time, just really due to personal reasons and needing to not explain myself as I am right now, but I'm getting a lot of questions and I wanted to ramp up my YouTube channel again and just share what's going on in my personal life and the rescue and how happy I am. So I had to make this video before I start launching other videos because we're getting so many questions. I get questions on the rescue page. I get questions on my personal page. A few days ago, I did a kind of ask me anything you want, and 99% of the questions were pertaining to my divorce. So Brad and I split up last June is when we separated. We filed for divorce in August, and because of COVID, that's how long things take. The divorce is finalized, and we are both finally in a good place. We are civil. We talk to one another. He knows that I'm seeing someone. We joked about him going on dates and, epic fails and, me taking on applications for his next girlfriend. So we're in a good place. Everything is fine. People are still commenting really negative things. Recently I made a post and someone said, it was along the lines of, "Oh, I can't believe you moved on that quickly." It's kind of almost been a year, but neither here nor there. I wanted to make this video to let you guys know that, yes, the divorce has happened. We are no longer together. No need for negative comments. And a lot of people have on my personal Instagram page have said, "Oh my God, this is the sign that I needed for my personal relationship." No. If this is the sign you needed, like me getting a divorce, is this the sign you needed for your own personal relationship to call it quits? Then there's a lot of other things that y'all need to address in your relationship. Brad and I just grew apart. That's really what it came down to. There wasn't like this big epic fight. No one cheated on each other. It was really one day, and Brad even knows the story. It was one day, he was not in the greatest mood, and we had talked about divorce over the course of the last 2 years. So it wasn't something that came out of left field. I don't think any healthy relationship, I know every healthy relationship goes through trials and tribulations, and you have your ups and your downs, and you work through it, and there's compromise. We got to a point where we were living as roommates. We could literally walk by each other in the house and not a word was said. We definitely wanted different things out of life. In the post that I made on Instagram, I kind of jokingly said, but it's very true. If you ask Brad what his, ideal life would look like, it's living in a high-rise condo, stainless steel, and no animals. And clearly that is not my lifestyle. That's not what I want. Looking 5 years down the road, I've said this time and time again, I want to be shoveling shit on a ranch somewhere. I love animals so much. I don't care how much money I make as long as I can pay my bills and be content. That's what I want out of life. I want to be surrounded by animals. I want to make a big difference in the rescue world. So when it came down to what we wanted out of life, it was just very, very different. And I think that if we would have stuck through it, and we did go to couples therapy, did it work for us? So I think if we would have stayed together for everyone else, so that we didn't look like failures. Oh my God, they got a divorce. They failed at marriage. I know that was one of Brad's greatest fears, is looking like a failure, that he failed at his marriage. I think it would have been a failure to stay together. I think we would have ended up hating each other and resenting each other. And now we can both look back and say that was the best decision that we could have made for the both of us. We are both so much happier. I know at first Brad was very upset with me making the decision to separate and ultimately divorce. But in the last conversation that we had, he was like, that was the best thing you could have done for the both of us. So we really are in a good place. It's not just me, blowing smoke out of people's or up people's asses. I'm still very close to his family. I talked to his mom, his grandma. So we're both in a really good place. And it's just shitty that I have felt like I have to hide my personal life right now because of people's judgment and out of respect for Brad and his family. But I am seeing someone, Duke. I'm very happy. I honestly, this is one of the happiest times in my life, and I just want to share it with you guys. And that's, I know that kind of sounds hurtful because I did spend some beautiful years with Brad, but unfortunately, we were just not good for each other long-term in a marriage. It just wasn't going to work. Initially, when we started seeing each other, we had a lot of commonalities, and it was focused around fitness. And unfortunately, I just kind of grew out of fitness. A lot of people want to make something out of nothing. They want to create drama on social media. I get screenshots of people saying negative things about me on Brad's page, and I don't know if Brad gets things on his page, but it's so stupid. But I realize that when you share your life on YouTube, on social media, people expect answers. And I remember a video that Brad and I did years ago where there was banter back and forth, and Brad's a straight shooter. He's kind of an asshole sometimes. He knows that. He'll tell you himself. The backlash that we got on social media was, you guys shouldn't be together. This is terrible. I can't watch this. And at the time, it obviously hurt my feelings. I'm like, oh my God, this is my marriage. Like, this is how people see it, like, from the outside. And I didn't see anything wrong with our marriage at that point. I think now looking back, there was a line that we both crossed, in a respect line in how we spoke to one another. And it did become very much like friends and roommates. And Brad and I have said this before, it seemed like because we were both only children, we're very independent, we just created two separate lives from one another. And it wasn't a marriage anymore. It was, it was almost like a business transaction. That's what our marriage felt like. So unfortunately, yes, I was the one that called it quits. But looking back on it now, I think we should have done it probably earlier. I'm so happy that Brad's in a good place. I'm in a great place now. And moving forward, I think that we can be friends long term. But I know a lot of people we're heartbroken on social media. Our friends and family, I don't want to say they saw it coming, but they were like, good for you guys. Like, I'm glad that you guys were able to kind of come to the conclusion that you guys weren't a good fit for one another, because the people around us saw it firsthand, right? And only Brad and I will ever really know what happened in our marriage, right? And the good times and the bad and dysfunctional and non-dysfunctional, whatever you want to call it. Brad and I are the only two humans on this fucking planet that really know what happened. So, for people to have their opinions, again, we put our lives on social media, so, it's warranted, I guess. Now Brad has ventured out into things he's never done before, and not to say like, oh, it's because, because of me, but I think he's realizing that he needed to make a change, and I needed to make a change in my life too, and the change had to start with us not being together. So unfortunately and fortunately, we had to go our separate ways, but we are definitely in a better place now. And I just wanted to share that with you guys and kind of clear the air, because I never made a video on YouTube. I know Brad pretty short, like shortly after our separation, he made a video, and I know that that's how Brad processes things. He puts everything out on the open, and that helped him. But I wasn't ready to do that. But now that I'm getting the YouTube channel back up, I know that I'm going to get questions when you guys don't see Brad with me. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know the divorce happened and, we're good. So, but on YouTube, it's a whole different crowd. So I just wanted to kind of clear the air. And if you guys have questions, by all means, I'm sure I'm going to get them anyways. So I invite you to ask me questions below on maybe things that you guys do want me to touch upon. I am not a relationship expert. I'm not a divorce expert. Please do not take my life and my experiences and put it, as your own. If you are struggling with something, talk to someone. If my, calling for a separation and divorce inspires you, I even hate that word and that terminology. I would say talk to your close friends. Really think about what you want out of life, and talk to your partner. Communication is fucking key, and I think that was a really, really important part of my marriage that we didn't have. We didn't have like real communication. So if you're feeling some sort of way right now and you're kind of in the dumps and you're looking for a sign, don't look to me. I'm not the person for that. Talk to your close friends, talk to a marriage counselor, and talk to your partner and figure out if, you guys are moving in the right direction. But I'm not the person to take advice from, God knows. So, but just wanted to kind of fill you in on my life. I am seeing Duke. We are very, very happy. We're doing the rescue thing together. He is crazier about rescue than I am, which is terrifying. But we live in Texas. I love McKinney. I know I did get some questions about like the biggest differences between LA and Texas. And honestly, it's just the weather. The weather is kind of shifty here. You don't know what you're going to get on any given day. And the people are so much nicer here. Like people genuinely want to ask you how your day is going. So that's the biggest difference. I'm trying to think. I'm going to have to grab my phone right now. This is a good one. If the internet didn't exist, where would you want to go in life? I would be doing the same thing that I'm doing right now, which is I'm still a marketing consultant and doing the dog rescue stuff. And I say dog rescue, but it's really an animal rescue because I'll take in anything. But I'd still be doing the same thing. Back in September, my Instagram got hacked and it was taken away from me for 2 months. And this is like back and forth with Instagram, like sending like pictures of myself with codes on it. And like, I got flagged for literally everything under the sun. I was impersonating someone else. I was harassing, I was bullying people. I was soliciting services and dates on DMs. It was like, someone got pissed off and flagged me for everything. And I don't think it was Brad, but I know someone's going to say it was Brad. It wasn't Brad, but I got flagged for everything and it was taken away from me and I didn't have Instagram for 2 months. And the only part that bothered me was from a business standpoint, because I do get business from social media and donations for the rescue. I usually do $5 Friday and then, we put our Venmo and our PayPal and people donate to the rescue. So it was hurting us financially in the rescue. So that's sort of the only reason I got upset that social media was taken away from me. But if internet didn't exist, I'd be doing the same thing I'm doing right now. Everyone's really excited about workout videos coming back. So I'm super excited to do those for you guys. I just have to learn, and I preach this, and you teach best what you need to learn most. And for me, it's just being kinder to myself. When you see your body at its best, when you've seen your body at its best, nothing else compares. So going from competing to now I'm going into year 3 of not competing. Sometimes it's really hard to even see videos of myself and not see myself shredded, because that's when I used to do the most videos, right? I would do contents of 20 weeks out, 16 weeks out, and I'd create content for you guys. So now it's a little bit different when I do workout videos, and I sometimes don't even watch my own YouTube videos. Sorry. It's just because I'm a really harsh critic of how I look physically, but I need to get over my own shit. So that's that. Next question, just because I want to wrap it up here on a light term instead of divorce. Will I be competing again? Just because we kind of just roll into this question. It's crazy how bodybuilding has a way of like creeping up on you. It just creeps up on you sometimes, right? And it could just be from me working out at Destination and seeing some of these girls that are getting ready for shows, and I'm like, oh God, the itch of being that regimented. And I go back and forth. I really do. I think my lifestyle right now is really hard to get into a routine that way, where I'm waking up, doing fasted cardio, and then going back to the gym, midday, and doing bookend cardio at night. Because of the rescue, it's very hard for me to get into a routine. And also hormones. So just from a hormonal standpoint, there's no secret what happens in bodybuilding. I'll leave it at that. I was also on birth control for 16 years. And 2 years ago, I found out that I had an ovarian cyst. I had cysts in my uterus, in my cervix, and I had major surgery. I basically have a C-section scar from it. But I had to remove 7 cysts and polyps and all sorts of things. And my fallopian tube was entangled. And it was just, my hormones are so out of whack. When you're on an extreme diet, when you're pushing your body so much, your thyroid takes a fucking shit. My progesterone was non-existent. My testosterone was literally at 7. My estrogen was through the roof. So hence all of the cysts and things that were kind of happening. So it's taken my body like 3 years to recover from competing. So now I can pretty much eat what I want and not gain weight. Like, I don't have to be as strict with my diet. I can have a drink when I want to, and I'm not as obsessed with the regimen. So when I think about competing, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I love it. I love it so much. I love competing and I love pushing my body. But then I have to think of what happened to my body while I was competing, what happened after, and the mental fuck that I was in from competing. Because once, when I'm on stage, I was like 128, 130. I'm 152, 53 right now. But for the most part, like, I have my shit days, right? I just told you, like, oh, I hate seeing myself on camera. But for the most part, like, everyday life, like, I feel good. Like, I put on clothes and I feel fine. But that is like a pretty big difference in weight. And when you go from, again, seeing your body at its best, nothing else compares to that. So you kind of have this like unhealthy relationship with bodybuilding where you're like, oh, fuck, like, I want to do it again. And maybe now that I've taken some time off, and if I slowly get into it, maybe I won't have that same reaction. But I keep on going back and forth. I think my lifestyle right now, unfortunately, is not conducive to bodybuilding. So I'll do a mini cut and see what my body looks like in 6 weeks and go from there. And if my body seems to kind of go in the direction I want it to go in, then I'll just continue. And I think a healthy weight for me is probably 138, 140. I think that would be a good weight for me. Right now I've just been super relaxed and doing like 20 minutes post cardio and not eating as consistent as I want. So to kind of answer your question after I just rambled, I don't know. I don't know if I'll go back to competing. I toy with it, I play with it, and I see girls at the gym and I'm like, oh my God. But I don't know. I don't know if my life right now is conducive to bodybuilding as much as I love it, but never say never. So that should have answered all of your questions. The questions I didn't answer in this video are going to be on my next video, so stay tuned for that. But I just want to thank you guys so much for all the love and support that I get on YouTube. You guys have been bugging the hell out of me. I get notifications still to this day when I log into my email in the morning, like that someone's commented on some video from like a year ago, like, hey, when are you coming back? Hey, asshole, like, are you still going to do another video? So just thank you to everyone. I really, really appreciate all the love and support that you guys have given me, and I promise I'm sticking around this time. So stay tuned for the next video, and thanks again.